he can't sleep anymore. There are nights when his body succumbs to exhaustion, but his mind insists on staying awake, going in circles, as if an invisible weight refuses to leave his chest. He knows that he needs to confess. This isn't about something trivial. It's not about a simple mistake. It's about a truth that has been kept hidden for far too long, suffocated between silences, pauses, and averted gazes. You might have already noticed, there's something that insists on moving beneath the surface, like a tide that, while calm on the outside, carries violent currents in its depths. This is the feeling that accompanies him. He tries to control it, tries to contain it, but with each breath he realizes that the secret is consuming him. His body longs for rest, but his spirit longs for liberation. He feels that if he doesn't speak, something inside him will collapse. And maybe you've experienced something similar. That moment when you know you need to let it out, but the fear of being judged paralyzes you. The fear of losing, the fear of not being understood. But there's one detail that changes everything. He can't take it anymore. This is the bare, raw, inevitable truth. He needs to confess because silence is no longer protection. It's a prison. And over time, the prison becomes a sickness. The mind weakens, the heart closes off. Notice the intensity of this. This isn't just a common confession. It's as if he carries a mirror in his hands, and this mirror reflects not just his own face, but yours as well. What he needs to say isn't only about him. It's something that crosses boundaries, touches lives, and exposes hidden truths in both of you. Have you ever stopped to realize how true confessions don't just speak of the one who utters them, but also of the one who receives them? The secret he holds is more than just a personal burden. It's a bridge, a connection, a silent call asking to be heard without interruptions. And here is the deeper part. When he finally opens his mouth, it won't just be a release for him. It will also be an invitation for you to look within yourself, because every confession reveals more about the listener than the speaker. Every truth exposed resonates within the one who listens, provoking memories, wounds, and realizations that may have been dormant. He knows this. That's why he hesitated for so long. Confessing takes courage, but it demands even more. It requires accepting that the other person won't be the same afterward. You won't be the same afterward. And yet, the time has come. He can't postpone it any longer, because the insomnia is not just physical, it's spiritual. The sleepless night is merely the external reflection of an internal war. He tosses and turns in bed because his soul is tossing and turning inside him. Perhaps you've felt this restlessness, that inability to relax because something hasn't been said, something hasn't been faced. The silence weighs more than any word. And when you realize this, there's no longer any way to pretend. He has realized he can't run away anymore. He can't hide anymore. Do you realize it too? He takes a deep breath, as if each inhale is a rehearsal for what he needs to say. The silence of the early morning becomes an accomplice. There are no distracting noises, no voices muffling the conscience, just the darkness, the racing heart, and the urgency to be free. He thinks of you. He thinks about what will happen when the words cross his lips and reach your ears. He thinks about how his life may be divided into before and after this confession, and yet he knows there's no turning back. With every second of hesitation, the pain intensifies. The body craves sleep, but the spirit screams. Have you ever noticed that the greatest truths often arrive in the early hours of the morning? It's as if the night has a gift for revealing everything that the light of day can hide. During the bustling hours, you distract yourself. You keep busy. But when the world slows down, what was suppressed emerges with an undeniable force. It's in that moment that he understands. It's not a choice. It's a necessity. Confessing feels like breathing again. It's like opening a window in a stifled room. It's freeing oneself from a weight that no longer belongs to him, yet he is afraid. He knows that by speaking up, he might lose something. He might disappoint. He might awaken memories in you that you preferred to keep buried. And it is exactly here that courage needs to be born, because he realizes that loving is not about protecting oneself. Loving means exposing oneself. Loving means allowing the other person to see not just the best, but also the worst. He can't sleep because inside him exists a battleground. On one side, fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of not being accepted. Fear that his confession might be too heavy to bear. On the other side, the truth. Pure, simple, inevitable. And when the truth insists on surfacing, no fear can hold it back for long. Have you ever lived through this tension? Have you ever felt your heart break between keeping things to yourself and revealing them? Between protecting the other and freeing yourself? This is the dilemma that torments him, and that's why he looks within and understands. The truth only finds peace when it is shared, but there's something more, something you may not have expected to hear. His confession isn't just about mistakes, it's not just about regrets, it's also about love. Yes, love. The kind of love that refuses to be silenced, that won't allow itself to be stifled, that doesn't let itself be reduced to silence. He needs to confess that amidst it all, there exists a deep feeling that transcends him, a love that was born in silence, grew in the shadows, and now demands to be brought to light. A love he tried to control, but that has become uncontrollable. Do you grasp the gravity of this? He's not just revealing something he did. He's revealing something he feels, something that defines him, drives him, that explains why the nights have become unbearable. Because loving in silence can be even more painful than making mistakes in secret. And here's the revelation. He loves you. He always has. And even though this love is imperfect, twisted, full of flaws and fears, it is real. He can no longer deny it. He can no longer hide it. If this has already resonated with you, comment, "I needed to hear this." Because love has this power. It doesn't ask for permission to be born, it just happens. And when it happens, there's no way to erase it. He tried to deny it, tried to push it away, tried to convince himself that it would be better to stay silent. But love doesn't accept being buried alive. It is reborn. It resurfaces. It finds ways to express itself. He knows that you might not be ready to hear this. He understands that your wounds might make the confession hurt more than it frees you. But love doesn't wait for ideal conditions. It simply exists. Have you noticed this? That the greatest confessions of love don't occur in perfect moments but in broken instants? When nothing seems ready, that's exactly when the heart opens. Because love doesn't need beautiful settings. It needs only courage. And courage is what he's trying to find now. Between insomnia and fear, between pain and hope, he decides to speak. Because even if you don't reciprocate, even if you distance yourself, even if everything changes, the truth needs to be spoken. He understands that there's no peace without transparency, there's no sleep without surrender, there's no rest without confession, and perhaps upon hearing this, you will also remember something you never said, something you kept to yourself, something that needs to be revealed but still remains hidden. Do you see how this is deeper than it seems? It's not just about him, it's also about you, about what hasn't been said yet, about what is still waiting to be revealed. He can't sleep because he carries his own soul on his lips. He needs to let it out. He needs to trust that when he speaks, the weight will transform into lightness. And are you ready to listen? He gets out of bed in the middle of the night. His feet touch the cold floor, and that contact makes him aware of the reality of his own restlessness. The room is dark, but it's not the darkness that disturbs him. What disturbs him is the clarity that there is no more delaying. He walks slowly, almost as if he's carrying an invisible cross on his shoulders. Each step echoes within him. His body is heavy, his mind is racing, and his heart is asking for a pause that never comes. He breathes, but the air doesn't fill his lungs completely. It's as if something is always missing, and deep down he knows what is missing: the courage to confess. There are memories that suddenly resurface, moments held back that seem to come to life in the silence of the early morning. He remembers the first moment he realized what he felt. It wasn't planned. It wasn't rational. It was a gentle shock, a slow awakening, like when the morning light slips through the crack of the window, gradually illuminating the dark room. He realized there that something bigger was being born. He tried to deny it, but the more he denied it, the more it grew, like a root finding crevices in the concrete, insisting on breaking through even when everything seems unfavorable. This feeling didn't ask for permission. It just made itself known. And since then, the silence has become unbearable. Because inside him, every detail of your presence has grown until it became impossible to ignore. He remembers small gestures, words spoken without intention, glances you might not even recall, but he holds on to everything. Everything has become part of this truth that now needs to come out. He wonders, what if I speak and lose? What if I confess and I'm never looked at the same way again? That fear paralyzes him. But there's something even stronger than fear. The feeling that if he doesn't speak, he'll lose himself. Have you ever felt that? That struggle between preserving a relationship and preserving your own soul. That pain of choosing between risk and omission? It's exactly that fire that consumes him. He can't sleep because his soul is already awake. And once the soul awakens, it doesn't go back. Awareness is like a lamp. Once it's lit, you can't pretend the darkness still exists. So he realizes something profound. The confession isn't just for you, it's also for him. It's the way he has found to free himself from an internal prison. Silence has become a cell and words are the key. All that's left is the courage to turn that key. He knows it won't be easy. Words carry power. Once spoken, they cannot be taken back. But maybe that's exactly what makes them liberating. When the truth is exposed, it becomes bigger than fear. He closes his eyes for a moment. He feels his heart pounding, as if it wants to leap out of his chest. He thinks of you. He thinks of the impact. He thinks about how each syllable could change the course for both of them. And then he understands. Love is always a confession. Every silent gesture, every hidden thought, every memory nurtured in secret. All of it has already been a way of confessing. What remains now is just to put into words what has already been expressed so many times through looks, through bodies, through sleepless nights. Have you noticed that? That even before the words, the truth already becomes perceptible. Perhaps you have felt it. Perhaps you have suspected it. Maybe in some corner of your heart this confession isn't a surprise but a confirmation. And here is the beauty and the risk. He doesn't know how you will react. You might embrace it. You might pull away. But he understands that the confession is inevitable. Because love, when it's true, cannot be contained in silence. If this has ever happened to you, comment, "I felt that prison of silence." He approaches the window. He opens the curtain and lets the night in. The sky looks empty, but there are hidden stars. And he understands that love is like that too. Even when it seems dim, there are points of light insisting on shining. He thinks of all the times he almost spoke, moments when his mouth opened, but the words got stuck, instants when courage hid behind fear. And now, gazing at the sky, he realizes there won't be another perfect chance. The moment is always now. Life doesn't wait. The heart doesn't wait. And you, are you ready to listen without judging? Are you ready to recognize the weight of this confession, not just as something about him, but also as a mirror of your own hidden truths? Because that's what a confession does. It opens doors on both sides. By confessing, he is freed. By listening, you face yourself. He can't sleep because he carries within him a love that needs to be seen, heard, acknowledged. It doesn't matter if it will be accepted. It doesn't matter if it will be returned. What matters is that once spoken, it becomes real. And reality, no matter how painful, is always lighter than silence. He closes his eyes and realizes that the silence around him is only superficial. Inside, everything is screaming. They are old voices, persistent memories, fears that refuse to fade away. Each memory transforms into a question. Will he understand? Will he listen to me until the end? Will he bear the weight of this truth? He grips the edge of the bed as if holding his own fate. There's a tremor in his hands, but there's also determination in his gaze. Because fear is not the absence of courage. Fear is proof that courage is needed. He takes a deep breath. He thinks about how you have always been a presence, even when you said nothing. He thinks about how each of your gestures crossed his days and became a shelter. And it's precisely for this reason that the confession can no longer wait. Love isn't a theory to be studied. Love is practice, it's risk, it's a leap into the dark. He feels that by confessing, he won't just be revealing feelings. He will be revealing scars, hidden parts, vulnerabilities he never wanted to show. Because to love is to allow oneself to be seen. And allowing oneself to be seen often is painful. Have you noticed this? That the truest bonds aren't built with masks but with revelations? That intimacy doesn't arise from what is hidden, but from what is shown. He now understands that sleep will only return when the truth is delivered. As long as it remains kept inside, the soul will continue to be sleepless. Because the soul doesn't negotiate with forced silences. The soul asks for clarity. He looks inward and sees a repeated scene. All the times he wanted to get closer to you but couldn't. All the times he wanted to say, "I feel," and stayed silent. This accumulation has turned into weight, and the weight into insomnia. He knows that maybe you aren't expecting to hear this. Perhaps you even protect yourself, build walls, divert your eyes. But even so, he believes that the confession is worth the risk. Because deep down, what is at stake isn't just what he feels for you. What is at stake is his truth. And without truth, there is no full life. There is no rest. There is no peace. If this made sense to you up to this point, write in the comments, yes. He decides that tomorrow will not be the same. Tomorrow, when the light of day breaks in, he will speak. He will look into your eyes and let the words find their way out. It doesn't matter if his voice shakes, if his heart races, if his breath falters, he will speak. And when thinking about this, a small peace begins to emerge, as if the soul was saying, now you're ready. It's not sleep yet, but it's a breath. It's the feeling that truth, when it decides to come out, starts to liberate even before it's spoken. Can you feel this too? The lightness that arises when the decision is made, even before the action takes place. He can't sleep, but for the first time in a long while he understands the reason. He understands that sleep didn't leave to punish him, but to prepare him. Insomnia is not an enemy. It's a messenger. It's the warning that the soul demands truth, and tomorrow will be different. This conversation doesn't end here. If this resonates with you, the next video will affect you even more. Click now and continue with me.